Hello my sweet friends and welcome to DIY with Nadia, where we love making wreaths. This very busy looking kitty right here is Simba, and in today's video we are doing a bee theme tri-fold method. I found it on Facebook a few years ago, but I just have never done it on this channel. So you know what? Why not? Let's do something different. Let's do something new and let's have some fun. Right, Simba? Give me 5. Yay! Let's get started. Let's go over the supplies for this wreath. I'm going to be using 2 rolls of 10" by 10" Deco mesh, this black one and this beautiful yellow one with black stripes. I'm going to need some pipe cleaners. For my ribbon, I'm going to be using this beautiful wired 1.5" bee ribbon, and the bonus is this little bee matches the little bees that are on my sign. The sign that I'm using is this beautiful We Belong Together sign, and it is 10" by 10". For my wreath base, I'm using this 14" metal Wreath Form, and all the supplies and where I got them are going to be in the description box below. To attach this sign, I'm going to be using 4 pipe cleaners and 4 pieces of scrap felt. You can also use ribbon, fabric, whatever you have. And I like to cut these 1" by 2". For this wreath base, we are going to do 18 pipe cleaners. And since we have 6 sections, that makes it 3 pipe cleaners per section. Let me take this tag off. I like to look at it as a section at a time. Our first pipe cleaner is going to go on row 1 and 2. 2 twists in the center, and we're going to fold it down. The other 2 pipe cleaners are going to go to the left and the right of the center one, but they're going to go on row 3 and 4. 2 twists, and we're going to fold the tail out. Same thing on this side. 2 twists, and we're going to fold out. And if you look at it one section at a time, that's all you have to do. 3 pipe cleaners per section. All my pipe cleaners are on, and as you can see, by the time I was done putting the pipe cleaners on, I got a little guessed. When you're done attaching all your pipe cleaners, you should have 6 on the inside row and 12 on the outside row. Now it's time to cut the Deco mesh. I'm going to be cutting it into 20" strips, and I'm going to need 15 of each color. The reason I need only 15 strips instead of 18 is because my center sign is going to be so large. It's pretty much going to be covering that center area of the wreath. If you are not going to use a big sign, you're going to maybe use a smaller one on the side and a bow on top, or maybe some other decor, then definitely cut all 18 pieces. That's going to take up the whole roll because this is 360 inches. Divide that by 18 is going to give us 20" strips. I'm going to overlap the 2 rolls and cut them together to save time. Let me just straighten that edge. And now I'm ready to cut 20" strips. I'm going to roll them together to make it easier for me and put them in a laundry basket. Off I go, cutting 15 strips of each color for a total of 30. I am ready to attach my Deco mesh, but before I do that, let's talk about how I'm going to attach it. On the outside row, I'm going to attach doubles, meaning a yellow and a black will go on each one of the pipe cleaners. On the inside row, we're just going to use 1 trifold per pipe cleaner, which means we're just going to go yellow, black, yellow, black. As you can see, the sign is covering that center part fairly well. So if you are not going to use a big sign, maybe you're going to have a bow and a small sign or some kind of other decor, then definitely do 18 pieces of each and do doubles in the center also. For the middle row, we're just going to make singles. So let's just do that first. I always like working inside out. To make our trifold, we're basically going to do what it sounds like, and that's fold your Deco mesh in 3. I like to fold the first piece about 7 inches because when I fold the other one, I don't want it to go over the side. I want it to be about 1 inch in so that it doesn't fray so much. Now that it's folded, I'm going to flip it upside down And all I'm doing is collecting in the center. I have my little trifold bow. The cut edge is at the bottom. And just like this, I'm going to attach it to the pipe cleaner on the inside row. Going to do a few twists. And for now, I'm just going to leave it alone. Next, I have a piece of my yellow Deco mesh. And same thing, I'm going to fold it in 3. And then I'm going to flip so that the cut edge is at the bottom and collect in the center. How beautiful is this? And attach it to the next pipe cleaner on the inside row. I'm going to go ahead and finish up every other color going all the way around on this inner row. The first row is all done. Very easy, very simple. And now it's time to get started on the outer row. For that, I'm going to use a clamp. You can also use one of these ribbon makers to hold the little trifold bows in place. Let's get our first piece. I'm going to start with the yellow on this one. And just like the other bows, I'm going to fold about 7 inches in. And then this one goes on top. Then I am going to flip and I'm going to collect in the center. After I collect in the center, I'm going to clamp it. Now we're going to do the black trifold little bow, 7 inches, fold on top. We're going to flip and collect in the center. We have both of our bows. When putting one on top of the other one, we want to do a little crisscross. And here is why. Let me put it on the pipe cleaner, a few good twists. And the reason you want to do this crisscross instead of just laying one on top of the other is you are covering this part right here with this Deco mesh. And then when you do the next set, you're going to be doing the same thing. You're going to be filling this part in and the part on this side. For our next set, I'm going to be using a bow maker, and I'm going to start with the black and then put the yellow on top. So we're going to continue going every other yellow, black at the bottom, and of course the opposite on top. Let's make our bow. Once you have your bow, you're just going to put it in between the 2 dowels I put in the center. Then we're going to make our yellow trifold bow. And just like the other one, we're going to crisscross it. A few good twists. And now I'm just going to continue making my trifold bows and attaching them to the outside of our wreath form. The trifold bows are all on, and look how big and fluffy this wreath is. Absolutely beautiful. Now it's time to cut the ribbon and make ribbon bundles. I'm going to be cutting this beautiful bee ribbon into 11-inch strips, and I'm going to need 30 of these. The ribbon that I'm using comes in a 10-yard spool, so you can definitely do 12-inch little strips if you would like, but just so you know, that's going to use up the whole spool, so be careful when you're folding it over and stuff so you don't have that last strip be a little bit too short. When I have my 30 pieces folded, I'm just going to take the edges, fold those in half, and cut off a triangle. That way I'm doing 2 things, cutting the ribbon and making dovetails. My ribbon is all cut up, and what I'm going to do on the inside row where I have 1 single trifold little bow on each of the pipe cleaners, I'm only going to do 1 little ribbon piece. So I'm going to fold it in half, find my center by pinching the little ends, putting it in, twisting it up about 1 inch from the connection, cutting off the excess, and folding in, folding back. And then the 2 tails I'm going to bring out because this is where the sign is going to be. And this is the reason why I'm only going to put 1 piece, is because we're not going to see the inside anyway. I'm going to continue going around, putting 1 little piece of ribbon on the single little bow, and then facing it out. On our outside row, we have doubles, so I'm going to use 2 of these, fold them in half, find my center, and I'm going to attach. Same thing, I'm going to twist up and hide the little tail. And of course, I'm going to continue doing doubles on the outside row. The ribbon is all on, but since I'm going to be flipping this wreath back and forth until we finish, we're going to leave all the ribbon alone until the end. To attach the sign, I'm going to be using 4 pipe cleaners and 4 scrap felt pieces. I decided to connect this sign in 4 places just because it's quite a large sign. Grabbing my pipe cleaners, I'm going to fold them in half, and in the center, I'm going to make a little flat surface just like this. It's time to attach a little bit of hot glue, and this is just regular hot glue that's black. And then I'm going to put hot glue on top, over the pipe cleaner, and at the bottom. Then I'm simply grabbing my felt piece and putting it right over. Let that melt in nice and even. The hot glue is all dry and I'm ready to put the sign on my wreath. Let's flip it. I'm going to be attaching my sign on row 2 on the 2 intersections on top and 2 at the bottom. I always connect the pipe cleaners lightly, making a twist or 2 at the most. Then I'm going to make sure the sign is in the right place. Come back and secure those pipe cleaners. The sign looks perfectly centered, so I'm going to go ahead and secure those pipe cleaners in place. Next, I'm going to find the top of the wreath and I'm going to attach a hanging sign. I'm just using the jute cord from the sign. Make a few knots. My hanging loop is done. I am keeping this wreath, so I'm not going to cover the back, but if you want, right now would be a good time to cover the wreath so it's nice and clean if you're gifting it or selling it. At this point, we're going to start bringing out all that ribbon, opening it up, and as you can see, just the 1 ribbon on the inside row is more than enough because we brought both tails to the outside and it looks beautiful. The ones on the outside, I like to open them up kind of like a flower, and I'm going to continue doing that until all the ribbon is beautifully laid out. This wreath is all done, and look at all that gorgeous bee ribbon in the middle of that deco mesh. The sign is beautiful and you have a really fluffy full wreath. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Something different, something beautiful, something fun. In the comments below, don't forget to say hello to me. And if you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing to this channel for more beautiful wreath tutorials. Thank you so much for being with us, and we will see you in our next video. Bye, guys. High five. Yay. Such a good kitty.